Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nick from Apollo Optics, and today we're going to be installing some Morimoto taillights on our 2019 Ford F-250 Super Duty. Now these taillights here will fit all 2017 to 2022 Ford Super Duty trucks. Doesn't matter if you have halogen bulbs, with BLIS, no BLIS, OEM LEDs, it is compatible with all of them. Right here is our factory taillight. This is going to be the OEM LED that's going to be on the 17 to 19 trucks. Like I said, factory LED, it also includes BLIS. Today, we're going to take this BLIS module and move it over here to our Morimoto taillight. Now, these Morimoto taillights are available in two different options, smoked and red. And we wanted to do the red on this truck because we're going for the OEM Plus look. If you've seen some of our other videos, that's what we prefer. Now, I wanted to put these two side to side here so that you could see. While this is still red, it is a little bit of a darker red, more of a red wine, maroon, burgundy color in some lights than the factory red taillight. So these are going to give us a subtle aftermarket look, a cleaner look, a deeper red without overdoing it. So let's get behind them now and see what these are all about. So with these lights flipped around, we can see that they're very similar to each other. This is our OEM taillight here. We're going to pull the BLIS blind spot monitor sensor out of this unit, transfer it over to this one. Now, we also have a series of adapters here and multiple resistors here based upon the application and the OEM lights on your truck to figure out which ones are needed. Everything is included here and everything is plug and play. You'll notice right here that these do come with a resistor installed. Because our truck is OEM LED, we're not going to be needing this, so we're going to be removing it. But let's go ahead first, crack into the factory taillight here and remove our blind spot sensor. You'll notice that there's two bolts, top and bottom. Now, one thing I want to note here is that our truck has security bolts in here. These are special security bolts that take a very specific bit so that it makes it a little bit less likely that your taillights are going to be stolen. These things are pretty expensive, especially the OEM units, so we had these on here for a little bit of theft protection. If you don't have these bolts, then you're just going to use a standard 8mm driver. Now with those two bolts removed, you're going to pull backwards, but also slightly out to the side. There's two pins here and here that are going to be in at an angle, so you want to pull those out the exact way they came in and pull it from the bottom. There you go, disconnect. Then you're going to undo this taillight here by pinching and disconnect it. We're going to go take this to the bench. All right, now let's get started removing this plate from our factory taillight. Now with the 4 bolts removed, those are 7mm bolts. We'll pull this off and pull it out. Now remember, it is still going to be attached here. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect this connection by pressing on the tab and separating the two wires. Now, with this removed from the factory taillight, we're going to undo these 2 bolts here and remove our sensor to transfer to our Morimoto taillight. Once the 2 screws are removed, you're going to remove these little plastic pieces from inside these 2 slots, lifting it kind of backwards and up at the same time, and slowly pulling it away. Now, once that's removed, you need to also remove this harness here, press down and separate the 2, just like that. Okay, now we have the Morimoto taillight. With our factory sensor here, it's time to work on the new taillights. So since we don't need this resistor for our application, we're going to go ahead and remove this from the taillight and set it aside. You'll remove these with a Phillips screwdriver. Now, with the resistor removed, we can move on to this same silver piece that we found on our factory taillight, still going to remove with 7mm bolts. With the 4 screws removed, we're going to go ahead and pull this silver piece out. And this is going to reveal all of our internal connections. Now, we've disassembled the Morimoto taillight, and here is where you really have to focus on your particular application. One thing I want to draw your attention to, as these come out of the box, this purple wire and this yellow wire are connected. This is okay for the incandescent trucks, but for the OEM LED trucks, we need to make sure that this red wire is connected to this purple wire right here. So we're gonna disconnect by pinching up top, and we're gonna plug in our red wire to the purple wire. Now, this is ready for the next step, installing our factory blind spot monitor. We're gonna take this here. First thing we're gonna do is plug it in. Once you hear the click, it's ready to go. Now we're gonna put it into place, remembering that these two tabs are gonna need to fall into these two slots right here. And then we'll press down to get everything lined up. Now that we're ready to put in these two screws. And we will be reusing the OEM hardware. You'll want to alternate until these are both nice and snug. Not too tight, but they do need to be fairly tight as they were from the factory. Then you can tuck all this excess wiring underneath here. And this is ready for us to now reinstall into our taillight. Make sure the two pins are lined up and gently press it into place. Want to make sure we're not pinching any of our wires like we were right there. So we're going to make sure these are all tucked in. All right, now we've got no wires being pinched. Pins are lined up. We're ready to go ahead and tighten. You'll take these until they're snug, but don't want to over tighten because you are dealing with plastic. Now this passenger taillight is ready for installation. There's one more thing I want to note to you that is specific about the passenger side of this vehicle. You'll notice this extra wire coming off of here. This is for the LED boost bar. This is the boost bar that attaches to your license plate frame or to your license plate housing, and it provides additional lighting when you shift into reverse automatically. If you have Morimoto taillights, this extra wire is already included here. You simply pull this cap off and you'll plug in the boost bar harness. No tapping, no anything. Very simple, straightforward installation. If you're not installing this or you're not adding the boost bar right now, go ahead and keep this cap on there so that all the connections stay watertight. All right, now that our taillight is ready for installation, make sure that you get all this in here. There's a pin there, and a pin there, and another guide pin up here. Make sure all these are lined up. Go ahead and plug this in, and then make sure these are all lined up, push into place, and then we'll secure with our two 8mm bolts. Now with those held in place, we're going to get our security hardware tightened down. And just like that, we're done. So thanks for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed checking out how awesome these taillights look. The turn signals are brighter, the brake lights are brighter, the reverse lights are brighter. Everything about these is better, brighter than OEM. And you get a little bit of personalization and a little bit of customization on there as well. We're a stocking dealer for Morimoto, and we have their red lights and their smoke lights in stock, as well as third brake lights, headlights, fog lights, the entire 4-banger series. You name it, you can find it at apollooptics.com. Give us a call, shoot us a message, or check some of the descriptions in the link below for more details, and reach out to us if there's anything that we can do for you. Thanks again for tuning in, and have a great day.